So here on the show, we love to share old Hollywood gossip, but more importantly, tell you the real stories behind said Hollywood stories. It's always fascinating, as I say, to look behind that velvet curtain and see exactly what truly went on, the manipulation, who looked after these people, and more importantly, who came out tops. Now, recently we told you about a story about the Battle of the Nudes, the ubiquitous blondes that were Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield, spearheading the revolution for dumb blondes in the 1950s. Jane, of course, with Will Success, Spoil Rock Hunter, and Marilyn really kicking it off with Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire before she decided to oust and find Lee Strasberg and become a method actress. All the while realizing that the public actually really wanted was Sugar Cane from the 1959 classic by Billy Wilder, Some Like It Hot. But over here in England, we had someone, some might say, hotter. That's right, the gorgeous, the brilliant, Swindon-born Diana Dawes, christened originally Dinah Fluck. But as she said, there could be a problem if the lettering fell off on a movie marquee. So very quickly they came up with the name Dawes. Now Diana, of course, had enjoyed mega success, sort of aping the Marilyn-esque type stuff. But she went over to Hollywood in the middle 50s, got a deal with RKO and signed along with a lot of big stars, including Rod Steiger, who she allegedly had an affair with. I met Mr. Steiger and he was incredibly coy, but did say that Diana Dawes was one woman he would never forget. When you see pictures, of course, you can understand why. Diana, though, quickly grew tired of the blonde bombshell persona, and sadly, her first husband, mentor Svengali, disappeared off the scene in tragic circumstances, so she reinvented herself and became a consummate actress. Obviously, you know, in that particular period, she went over to America and tried to make it big, but her movies, The Unholy Wife and I Married a Woman, didn't really do incredibly well for her. Now, when she came back to the United Kingdom, she was kind of short on cash and short on publicity. Needed to relaunch herself, as they say. That phrase is nothing new. So Diana decided to put out a collection of memoirs. Now, these memoirs were particularly shocking in 1959 and in 1960, superseding the nude scenes of Jane Mansfield and Marilyn Monroe in Something's Got to Give and Promises, Promises. You see, Diana titled them Swinging Doors. It was all about those naughty parties at a Berkshire mansion, and more importantly, naming and shaming some of the megastars of that particular era. So, well, you know, shocking were these stories that the tabloid The News of the World broke the bank in 1960 to pay Diana Dawes £30,000, which was a colossal amount of money when you consider in 1960. This would have set somebody up for life. It was like $1 million. You could buy a house for £4,000 over here, and literally outright in 1960. But Diana claimed she had back taxes and needed to relaunch herself. So the News of the World, rightly so, dramatized, serialized, and put out said book. It was considered to be absolutely shocking. The church denounced her, and of course lots of people rushed out to buy said copy of book and the tabloid News of the World. But what's interesting is, as I say, I've met and interviewed many people who worked with the Divine Dawes over the years, and they said she knew exactly what she was doing. She was an astute businesswoman, but more importantly, you know, just knew exactly what the public wanted to see. But did you know Diana tragically lost her life to cancer at a very young early age in her early 50s? And to this day, there are simply missing millions of her estate, apparently in offshore accounts that nobody knows the code for. So while Diana may have been cash rich in life, sadly, she left her family cash poor after her early demise. And this came directly from her son Jason, who I became very friendly with in the latter part of his life. A tragic sort of guy, but ultimately a sweet, kind, gentle person who had basically been dealt a difficult line in his life. Diana Dawes, though, did it all, some might say, bigger, better, and bustier than the Hollywood blondes. Her story remains fascinating. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.